What's up, YouTube? I'm back with another video for you guys. So today, as long promised, I think I said this a while ago, I'm finally gonna make an Azure video. I think Azure is great for spinning out a bunch of virtual machines whenever you need it. You don't have to use your own resources, and then you could just destroy the resource whenever you're done with it. So it's perfect for a home lab. And not only with virtual machines, but you do have access to make load balancers, networks, all kinds of stuff for a good, nice home lab. So I'm going to show you guys how to quickly create an Azure account and then, get started with Azure, maybe spin up some virtual machines. All right, let's do this, guys. So pretty simple. All you got to do here is just Google Azure and then, pretty much there. Click here, azure.microsoft.com. Or if you want to go to the website, you could just go to the websites. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click to try Azure for free. And pretty much, guys, look at this, you get $200 in Azure credits. Now, when I was studying for my Azure test, I did not utilize these credits. Please utilize these credits. $200 is a lot. I was doing like $50 per month or something like that. I had a few VMs up, a few networks. It was about 30 to 50. This $200 would last you a good 4 months if you didn't have to use it in 30 days. So you could pretty much just go crazy with Azure. Yeah, so let's go ahead and click start for free. I created an email account, yay for AZ, stands for yay for Azure. If you don't have a Hotmail account, just make a Hotmail account real quick. Bam, so after this, you will have to verify by your credit card, debit card. This is only gonna come out if you have a balance. Bam. All right, guys, so that's all you gotta do to create a free Azure account. So as you notice, it says I'm not eligible for a free Azure account. If anybody from Microsoft does see this video, I'm not trying to be a freeloader. So I'm not gonna use this account. I'm gonna use my own account, guys, because I'm not eligible for a free account because I already have one. Here's the home page for Azure. So I know what you're thinking, like, what the hell is all this stuff? You don't have to worry. You might not have these things on the top here for services, but all you gotta do, to be honest, just search virtual machine on the top and click virtual machines. And here we can easily build some virtual machines. So I'm gonna go ahead and build a virtual machine really quick. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and click create. And we're gonna create just a virtual machine. Don't need to worry about any of that stuff right now, guys. Okay, so creating a virtual machine is super easy. The only thing that you really have to pay attention to is the subscription. So if you have a free account, you can just use your free credits. You might use your basic subscription. Your free credits could come from that. But you might also have to create a subscription, a pay-as-you-go subscription. So I don't think creating another subscription is going to be necessary, to be honest. But let me just go ahead and use this pay-as-you-go subscription. That's mine that I created. And now we have resource group. So all you have to know for resource group is all a resource group is it groups your resources. So it's exactly what it sounds like. I'll just create a new one. You can do exactly what I'm doing here. Let's just go ahead and create a new resource group. We're gonna call this new resource group. I mean, we can name it trash group. We can name it this. We can name it whatever we want, guys. I'm just gonna name this new resource group. All right, so now it's time to name our virtual machine. I don't know what to name my virtual machine, to be honest. I'm just gonna say random DC. It stands for random domain controller. If you want to practice creating domain controllers, this is a good way to practice, guys. This is exactly what I did. We don't need any redundancy here, so don't worry about that because we're only testing things. We can have standard security, that's fine. But here we have images. So click here. You can search for any image. Just say Windows Server. If you want to make a Linux server, you can search. Well, we might have to search Ubuntu, for example. Yeah, Ubuntu, or any like Red Hat, for example. You can search that as well. But for this one, I'm just going to create a Windows Server 2012 data center. You could create the newest ones. I mean, you could go 2022 if you want to. I'm just going to stick with 2012. All right, guys. So here we see the size. So if you have that $200 credit, you can choose any one of these. Like you could go here and you can actually look. So this one is the cheapest one. Well, no, this one is the cheapest one. This only has one virtual CPU, 1 gig of RAM. We're probably gonna need more than that. We could, organize it by how much RAM, how much CPUs. I'm just gonna choose this one, guys. There's also all of these you can look at. I didn't even see these. You can look. There's a whole bunch of these. There's one that's $500 a month. And now we just got to create an administrator account. I'll just choose admin. I don't know. I'll just choose a password real quick. Confirm password. All right. So inbound port rules. So you're going to select which virtual machine network ports are accessible from public internet. So pretty much, if I leave this up and you guys see the public IP address, you guys will be able to connect to my virtual machine and hack me, man. I can't allow that to happen, so I'm going to tear this down immediately. But you're going to have to leave this open, guys, because if you do not leave RDP open, if you don't know what RDP is, all it is remote desktop. So you can't see my search screen, but I searched remote desktop connection on my computer. You could do the same thing if you have Windows. And it's just this. This uses port 3389. And if you study for CompTIA, you will know this. If you're in IT, you will know this. I'll go over it in my course. But pretty much you want to leave this open. If you don't, you cannot connect to this virtual machine. Now, what I will say is you can limit it to only your IP address, which I can do that as well. But, I'm just going to tear this down anyway, so it doesn't matter. To be honest, you don't even need to go through anything else. Like we could go to disks. All the defaults is fine. We want to make sure we delete this with the VM. We could just choose like standard SSD. That's fine with me. It's a little cheaper. If you go premium, it's more expensive. Default encryption is okay. All right, so networking. We have to create a virtual network. You could create new. I think I already have some here. It already has the subnets, the default subnet here, 10.1.0.0/24. If you don't know what this is, don't worry about it. Just leave it as it is. This is perfectly fine for what you have to do. /24, all that means is you can have 254 hosts inside of this network. That's all that means. And you don't have to worry about it because we're just doing one virtual machine for now. We're just going to leave this as public IP, leave it as is. This is fine. This is fine. Just you have to leave this. Make sure to allow selected ports. And we're going to delete this when the VM is deleted, guys. You don't have to do this, but I will. I'm going to delete everything here. We could go to management here. All of this is all up to you. I don't need any of this. I'm just going to skip. And I don't need any of this either. So I'm just going to skip. You don't need tags either. So you can pretty much just review and create, guys. So it looks like I have some missing information. Let's see what I missed. Oh, my password is not good enough. Okay. Let me create a new password. Oh, and I can't use admin. Let's just do sysadmin for system admin. There we go. I didn't even realize that. Let's just do that. Review create. And now, this is how much it's going to cost per hour. So that monthly cost, keep in mind, guys, that monthly cost is only if you leave the VM there turned on for an entire month. If you turn it off, you're most likely not going to be charged the whole thing. But I've left VMs on and I was still charged for like the disks. So you gotta be careful with that. That's why I chose to delete the disks when I delete the VM. So this is how much it's gonna cost per hour. Super cheap. I'm not really worried about it. Let's just hit create. And guess what? Our virtual machine is being created right now somewhere out there in the world in one of Microsoft's data centers. All right, so I had to wait a few minutes and it finally finished. So we're gonna go to resource and bam, we see random DC is here. So if I just connect, I'm gonna use RDP because remember we opened that port. We cannot connect via SSH. That port's not open. So let's connect with RDP. So download RDP file. There's the public IP address. If you want to, try to hack this VM later, go right ahead. But I'm telling you guys, by the time I upload this video, this VM is going to be deleted. All right, so let's download the RDP file. There it is. Once we open it, it's just going to automatically connect. So here is the RDP file. Let's just hit connect. It's asking us to enter our credentials. So all we got to do is enter the credentials we set earlier. So remember sysadmin and whatever I set as the password. Connect. It keeps doing it on the other screen. Sorry about that. But we then get this message. We're just going to connect to this computer. Yes. It's verifying the connection. And then here it is, guys. That's it. Virtual machine spun up like this. Super quick. And as you can see, we have the VM right here. We could do all kinds of fun stuff. We can do whatever we want essentially. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close this window. Yeah, sure. And I actually opened RDP on my computer. So here it is. I'm just going to connect to the IP address. It's going to be the exact same thing. So, that pops up, sysadmin, enter the password. Same message. It's the exact same thing, guys. So that's just remote desktop protocol it's connecting with. And pretty much, hey, that's it. That's all you got to do. You can get started with Azure. I think this took around 10 minutes, but you just got to create an account, set it up, create your virtual machine, and that's it. But hey, that's pretty much the entire video. How to get started with Azure. I will make more regarding Azure. We'll do other things in Azure. There's more you can do than just make virtual machines, but this is a good start to get your home lab up and running and to get experience in IT. That's the most important thing we're trying to do, is just to get a little bit of experience. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.